Hi, this is Dan Sullivan. I'd like to welcome you to the Multiplier Mindset Podcast. So it's a real pleasure today. The episode of the Multiplier Mindset features Kim Butler, and I've known Kim for 2 decades, and she's been just a terrific participant in the Strategic Coach program, but she's also one of our associate coaches. We have 15 associate coaches, and Kim is just a terrific coach. She knows the Strategic Coach concepts and tools. But if I had to look at a quality that has always impressed me about Kim is her perseverance. She just has phenomenal perseverance. So in this episode where she talks about a particular event that was a failure 3 years in a row, she didn't give up on that. She kept learning from the failure until she knew how to be successful. So the magic number here was she failed 3 times, and then she succeeded on the 4th, and then has succeeded forever. And wherever I look at entrepreneurs, I see incredibly intelligent people. I see incredibly skillful people. But the ones who are the most successful are the ones who have mastered the one quality that Kim has had her entire life, and that is perseverance.
Hello, I'm Kim Butler, and I own Partners for Prosperity. It's a nationwide financial firm that focuses on alternatives. I became an entrepreneur because I don't like to follow the rules, and I prefer to instead create an environment where there's growth all the time and where truth is being told and where results are the focus. And that was way more interesting to me long ago than following rules or developing an environment in what I perceived as kind of a stuck box. So instead of a bureaucratic, corporate, stuck box environment, the entrepreneurial world is changing all the time. It's growing all the time. It's challenging all the time. And every single day, you can figure out whether you're getting results or not. And you can adjust. So if you're not getting results, you can change and shift and improve and grow. And those were all very, very important values to me as a person. And it just made sense to put those out in play in the business world. So I think in any endeavor in the human world, there are failures, and it's always about how you choose to deal with the failure. And as an entrepreneur, you get to deal with failures a lot more often than people that are protected in a corporate or bureaucratic world. And that's really where growth occurs. So I can think of one story where in our organization, we wanted to create an event. And events are hard. There's physical space, there's people, there's the marketing, there's the food, there's all of the speakers, etc. And we put on this event and it was okay, but just okay. And I remember being like, okay, we did it 1 year, we've got momentum, we've got to do number 2. And number 2 came around and it was okay +1, but not okay +10. And I thought, that's it, I'm done. I want to quit. This is too hard. This is not my main business. I have all these other awesome things to grow and create value in. And yet, for whatever reason, I was really pulled to continue to work with this event, even though I didn't want to do it. It was too hard. In my mind, it had failed and it wasn't creating the kind of value that I wanted. And yet there was just enough people that said, yeah, that was really helpful. Yeah, that was really great. I really enjoyed it. That I kind of picked up the pieces and went on again. And then the 3rd year it happened again. And I'm like, forget it. I'm not doing this again. It's too hard. And then the 4th year, we finally got over that hump. And so whether it's the typical statistic that you always hear, like new businesses takes 2 or 3 years to get off the ground, I feel like that event now totally has wings. And it's because of a choice of perseverance. It's also because of listening and adjusting along the way, which, as I indicated, something very capable for entrepreneurs to do that you can't always do in other worlds. And when you can choose, if you really feel like there's something of value that you want to create and that you're following your heart and you're listening to your community and adjusting because of that, then you have to be able to put up with failure. You have to be able to go through that. I use the word have to, but I'm going to say you'll want to. overcome that failure and cross those bridges and hike up that mountain one more time and survive that valley one more time and one more time and one more time until you get past that, because that's where the good is created. I think, as I indicated, everything is a choice. And it's interesting because a lot of times a choice is A or B. And yet I'm a big believer that you can actually have both. So if A is going forward and B is giving up, then choose both. In other words, choose what parts need to be given up. Choose the parts that you can go ahead and let fail, and create A and B so that the B part makes A better and you can go forward. And when you are following your heart and you are serving and you're listening to your community and you're taking input, it's worth making the choice to survive that valley one more time, to go forward, to learn, to adjust, to make the shifts that are necessary. But that's all a choice. And choice is right here in our minds. And choice can happen that quickly. You can shift your mind or your mindset, if that's an easier word, that quickly. And when you make that shift in your mindset, then you can go after anything you want, as long as you're serving, as long as you're helping people, and as long as you're still listening. And I think having the humble confidence to make a strong choice and include the failures actually makes that choice even better.
So Kim uses a great image of that you're in the valley rather than on the hilltop when you're failing, and it's the openness to the experience of failure and treating failure as a very valuable experience that allows you to develop constantly increasing perseverance. Okay, because you begin to realize that in your life, if you're doing new things, probably when you first start doing a new thing, you're going to fail at what you're doing because you don't have the experience yet. You haven't developed the knowledge about what the situation is. You haven't developed the skills of planning for this type of situation. In this case, it was a particular annual event that Kim had, and she was willing to go through the valley of this experience, the failure that takes place in the valley, so that then she could get to the mountaintop. And once she got to the mountaintop, she knew how to repeat this for the rest of her entrepreneurial career. People who look at very successful entrepreneurs don't realize that all of them got to their success by being completely open to the learning and to the constant improvement that comes from failing. And you fail, and then at a certain point, it all comes together, everything clicks, and then you have the formula for success. I've failed many, many times, hundreds of times in different situations in my entrepreneurial career, but I knew if I just stuck with it, there would be success. And Kim's interview is just perfect for illustrating how this works. So you may be watching this and asking yourself the question, well, how do I prepare myself for failure? And I says, you don't prepare yourself for failure, you prepare yourself for a new experience, okay? And you go in with a thought, I'm just going to learn everything there is about this new experience until I get it right, and I'm willing to go through a period where I don't have it right so that I speed up the process of learning what's required to have a constant, permanent, predictable success in this type of situation. That's the secret. I mean, entrepreneurism, life, that's the secret. You have to be open to new experience, and at first, you don't have a handle on what's required, but the longer you stick with it and you keep yourself open to what's happening to you, then the right course for you, the right way to think about it, the right way to prepare for it, and the right way to perform will all come to you. So here's a formula for success based on Kim Butler's testimony here, and that is the secret formula to success is to constantly be taking on new challenging situations and opening yourself up to what at first feels like failure until you get the actual secret, the actual path ahead for being successful in this type of experience for the rest of your life. and just keep repeating that. New situation, new failure, new learning, and that's how success, the skills of success, and the capabilities of success all come about. So to get a total handle very quickly on the relationship between failure and success, go to gapandgain.coach.